These 55 countries that make up the 1.3 billion people, these 55 countries, they are the annual GDP, that is the output, right? The economic output of all these this new bigger free area market stands at one sorry, $3.4 trillion. Just let it sink in for a minute. $3.4 trillion. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the massive market opportunities for small to mid-sized enterprises in Africa. I'm talking of SMEs. Opportunity that has been laid bare as a result of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, and it's mind-blowing. So to get started, let me just use my screen to just illustrate the size of the opportunity to you. So just follow me very, very closely. So I have this map of Africa here. In the past or before the Continental Free Trade era, what happened was that let's take, say, a country like, let's say, Kenya, right? So traditionally, before the Continental Free Trade Agreement kicked in, what happened was that most Kenyan businesses, particularly small to mid-sized businesses, would trade within the confines of their border. Yes, there were some export opportunities here and there, particularly when you talk of export within Africa, it wasn't that much. The reason being that there were a lot of trade restrictions, right? So a lot of, let's say, trade barriers. So if Kenya wanted to export to neighboring countries, for instance, there would be trade barriers. Sometimes these countries would form regional pacts or regional trading pacts. Like West Africa, they have the ECOWAS. I think the SADC area, which is the Southern Africa, they also have their own regional pact. But these regional pacts were not really synchronizing with each other. That's the reason why the Continental Free Trade really became necessary. So if a Kenyan company wanted to, let's say, export something to, let's say, Nigeria, right? Export to Nigeria, what is going to happen is that it's going to be difficult than, say, the Kenyan company exporting to, let's say, Europe. It was a little bit more straightforward than actually exporting to a fellow African country. So what happened was that this business here, the problem they are going to have is that they are going to be, in most part, be limited by the size of the market in Kenya. I think if my memory serves me, the population of Kenya would be, I think, about 30, not 30, sorry. I think it would be about 40 million people, roughly. If it's not true, I apologize, but I think it's there or thereabout. But to be about 40 million. So if you are a business in Kenya, typically you are restricted to this market size. Okay. So it's hard for businesses to grow beyond their market sizes. So then comes in the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. So that one just said, okay, Kenyan company, forget about all these trade restrictions, because that is what the AfTA is going to be all about. So you are still a Kenyan company here. But now your market size is going to be the whole of the continent of Africa, right? The whole of the continent of Africa. I couldn't draw fast enough, right? So that's going to be your whole market. And to put some numbers there, it's amazing. So the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is going to be, or it is going to be, the largest free trade area market in the world. This is what it is. So instead of this company that is based in Kenya with a population of 40 million, all of a sudden, this company, provided they sell things that would appeal to the rest of Africa, they are looking at a market of now 1.3 billion people, right? You're looking at 1.3 billion people on a continent, right? For a market potentially of 1 point, that is massive. So just think about it, that you have a product and let's say you can sell, and your market size is like that of, let's say, China, or let's say India, it makes a whole lot of difference. There's a reason why there's a high concentration of billionaires in places like China and India, right? Because population plays a key role in wealth creation. Because if I have a widget that costs $1 and I can only sell it to a population of 40 million people, versus I have the same widget of $1, but I can sell it to a population of 1.3 billion people, that makes a world of difference. That's why India has a lot of billionaires compared to Africa. Most of the time, it's not intellect. I don't believe in it. I don't believe that is the case. It's because of the market size. The opportunity is bigger. So the bigger the opportunity, the more spaces people can find to explore, to profit or make an impact, basically. So it's not, population size is not, that is not the only thing. The other thing is that this market is now, instead of having access to just one country, the participating countries within the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, they are 55. Let me see. I don't know what's happening. 55 countries. 55 countries. Okay. All right. So 55, at least you can make it out. 55 countries. That is massive. Not only that, they that is amazing. And not only that, it is projected that by the year 2050, right? 2050, the population size of this continental free trade area market is going to double. Okay, so the population size, that's 1.3 billion, is going to be doubling by the year 2050. 2050 is going to double. So just think of if 1.3 billion market size is something to go by, think of doubling that by the year 2050. So that tells you about the prospects that small and mid-sized businesses, if they position themselves very well, some of the possibilities that are available if you run a small business or a medium-sized business in Africa. Let me just tell you which areas or which industries are going to be most impacted positively by this. The first one is agriculture or agro processing. So agric is going to be one of them, right? Agriculture is going to be one of them. Number two is manufacturing. Okay. Then the third one is services. Okay. So services are going to be key. These are the area, because what's going to happen is that there's going to be a massive opportunity for businesses to be able to trade across border, right? So across border, so one country may be growing cocoa, the other one may be growing maybe fruits and vegetables, the other one may be growing maybe oils on edible oils, or fatty oils for industrial purposes. Others may be growing, let's say, cassava for starch, or sugar cane for sugar, right? So these kind of cross-border trading or intra-country trading is what is going to grow. And the key sectors that are going to rise are going to be agriculture, manufacturing activities, and then services. Okay, services. So this is what I want you to think about. So let's look at briefly what the advantages or the benefits are when it comes to this agreement as it relates to SMEs. So the first thing, as you would see, is there is going to be opportunity for SMEs to grow. So opportunities for SMEs to grow. So the first thing is that there are going to be Massive opportunity for SMEs to grow in terms of revenue and profitability. Then let's look at another point. The other point is the because of that, but what is going to actually give rise to this opportunity for them to grow is that it's going to be easy access to other markets. Okay, so if you're in a country and let's say you're saturated with competition because everybody produces the same thing within your country, if you find a way to carve a niche and then export to other African countries, the opportunity is there because it's going to be easier to export, because what they after is predicated on is removing barriers to trading within Africa, or getting rid of tariffs, getting rid of red tape and the likes. So that is going to be key. Let's look at the third one. There is also going to be a growth, or I would say access to trade finance. So trade finance is going to be a key. So access to trade finance. The reason is this: if let's say you produce a widget, right? Let's say you produce some kind of skin lotion, and that skin lotion, you typically have a small factory, and then you produce to meet your local market needs. And all of a sudden, the market tells you that that skin lotion is in hot demand in, let's say, 10 or 15 other African countries with massive demand. An investor is more likely to give you money to expand your operations than that investor would give you money if you were to expand your operations locally or within the confines of your country. So once again, if you came in here and said, look, I have orders from here, orders from there, orders from there, orders from there, orders from there, and then you showed it to an investment banker or an investor, and you realize that, okay, for the year in your local, let's say in Kenya, your revenue for the year is, let's say, $1 million, right? Let's say $1 million. But when you combine all these orders, that order, and that order, you're going to see, let's say, $50 million, right, in orders coming from here. An investor is likely to invest in your business so that you'll be able to capitalize on the increased size of the market. So that's why there's going to be improved access to trade financing. So let's look at number 4. Is going to make it possible for African businesses, right? Africa is going to make it for you as an SME to be able to easily sell or export raw materials to larger companies from other markets, right? So let's say I always use this example: shea butter in Ghana versus skin lotion manufacturer in Nigeria, right? So that shea butter company in the past would find a lot of bottlenecks to send the raw material to Nigeria, and it's going to eventually to get there, but the cost of doing that business is higher because of all the tariffs. But so assuming all the tariffs are reduced to the barest minimum or wiped out, what is going to happen is that it's going to open access for that shea butter grower or producer in Ghana or Burkina Faso to be able to export shea butter to many other bigger manufacturers across the continent. There's going to be, let's say, raw material, right? Raw material movement across borders. Raw material movement across borders is going to be easier, right? It's going to be easier. It's going to be easier, right? And then also, it makes trading actually simplified. And the resulting factor is that more jobs are going to be created, because as industries or businesses are improving or expanding their capacity, guess what goes with it? Job creation. Job creation goes with it. And when job is created, what happens is that there's going to be poverty alleviation or poverty reduction. Poverty reduces. So in a nutshell, this is just a quick overview of the market size, the market opportunity. I just want to use this to help you expand your mind, so that when you hear after, it shouldn't be something like something out there, something that is not for me. The worst thing that would happen to Africa is that all the companies outside of Africa, particularly from the developed world, hears about it, benefits from it, and then the indigenous people know nothing about it. I think that is what this channel is about, to help SMEs to be able to see the bigger opportunities on the continent, and not see it something that is far off, see that something that is also going to be super highly beneficial to them. And that's what this channel is about, to give you the insights, to share latest trends, latest strategies, and on the ground tactics, so that your SME, your small, your medium-sized business can excel even under this environment. Thank you so much for watching. If you love this content, subscribe to the channel, like this video, do all the YouTube stuff. I will come back with more. Thank you so much.